Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Hola, Unity on the Bay, ¿cómo estás? Oh, we're so happy to have you here this morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity on the Bay, your positive path for spiritual living. My name is Shantae Haymore Kearney. I am your Sunday morning platform hostess. There's a lot of energy going on in here today. If you can hear me, clap. All right, okay, all right, awesome. Oh, keep going. All right, fantastic. Well, just know that while we are here feeling the energy and being in connection with each other, learning and growing, our kids are also having the same time of inspiration, learning, and growing in the Kids Zone, which happens both online and in person, so you can always sign up a child to attend by visiting the unityonthebay.org website and clicking the Family tab on the website. Before we get started with our service, I want to share with you a few things that we have coming up here in our community. But I want to share these announcements with you, not just as like information that you should know, but please take them as an invitation to you. This is an invitation of the things that are going on here at your community. It's an invitation to learn with us. It's an invitation to grow with us. It's an invitation to connect with us. And you can do that by these next announcements that I have coming up. So, here we go. Can you finish this sentence for me? The early bird gets the sandwich. Absolutely. And the early bird gets the worm, and the early bird gets the discount. That's right. There is a discount for all you early birds out there. If you want to get your ticket to the Love and Light Gala, today is the last day to do so and save $25 per ticket. That's right. Today is the last day to get that ticket at a reduced price. So when you buy your ticket, not only are you supporting your Unity on the Bay community, but you're also gifting yourself a night out in Miami at Jungle Island with lots of dancing, with lots of dining, with just entertainment, silent auction, all the fun stuff that a gala has to offer. So if you would, make sure to save the date, buy your ticket for Saturday, November 5th. As I said, it's going to be taking place at the iconic Jungle Island location in Miami. Please come and party with us, hang out with us. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and all you have to do to attend is either visit the gala table in the back, you can buy your ticket from there, or you can grab your phone, go to our website, unityonthebay.org, or use your PC or your laptop to get there. Either way, we want you to be there, and we want you to share in the love and light. Look at Sam back there. She is shining her love and light at the gala table, so that's where you can find the tickets or any other information that you need. Okay, will I see you there? Yes. Will I see you there? Yes. All right. Now the only question is, what do we wear? But we can work on that later. Okay, so fall is upon us in South Florida. It doesn't really mean that much in terms of what you see outside or how hot you feel outside, but it does mean that there's pumpkin spice everything. And it also means that our biggest Spirit Groups program of the year is about to launch. So together, we will be exploring the pages of what Oprah has called, quote, the most valuable book she has ever read. I mean, should I just drop the mic now, or should I keep going? Okay, I'll keep going. So we're talking about Eckhart Tolle's newest book entitled Oneness with All Life. Our Sunday talks will be based on the book, plus you'll be encouraged to find a group in our community to connect with throughout the week to discuss what you've read. You can find your group starting today. You can visit our website and look for Spirit Groups. We start the first Sunday in October, so you also have time and an opportunity to purchase the book here if you're in the building at the bookstore table in the back. Lastly, I just want to make an inclusive note. because not everyone feels comfortable or reading books these days. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. It's just may not be your thing. So just know that listening to the audiobook is just as valuable and as accepted as reading the book. So there's no excuses. We'll see you at the spirit groups, yes? All right, okay. And last thing, we are nearing the end of the year, and I have a question for you. If you have accomplished everything that you've set out, or you're on track to accomplish everything you've set out for 2022, please raise your hand. Wow. We have 2 people. Last service, we had no people, including myself, raise my hand. So yes, congratulations to you, and to you. You can still come, and you can still come to our Absolute Abundance program, which is kicking off on October 4th. So this is the class that will help you achieve your breakthroughs in your relationships, career, your health, and your wealth. It's called Absolute Abundance, as I mentioned, and it's facilitated by Reverend Juan. And you'll learn, but most importantly, you will practice key spiritual principles for abundance that will cause breakthroughs in whatever it is that you're desiring. It takes place both online and in person, and all you have to do is visit our website for the details and to enroll. But don't wait until 2023 to start making your goals, to start setting your new goals. Every day is a fresh start, so you can start new today. And with that, we are happy that you're here. Hola, Reverend Juan. Welcome to the stage.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday.
Thanks. I love it. Well, thank you everyone for being with us today. It is great to be in spiritual community with you. I know there's many different things that you could be doing, and you've made the choice to be with us today. Some of you also made the choice of being at the Church of Lady Gaga last night, and some of you may all still be at home experiencing the Church of Lady Gaga, but we are really grateful that you are here in person or connecting from home and bringing all of who you are. As Shantae said, my name is Juan. I'm the co-senior minister of this beautiful spiritual community, and I get to just welcome you and thank you for being with us. If this is your first or second time with Unity on the Bay, if you're in person after the service, we'd love for you to pass by the welcome table. And if you're watching from home, if you just follow the prompts that are on the screen, we really just want to get to know you better, have you get to know us better, and we give each of you a gift for letting us do that. So make sure that you connect with us. And yes, it is hola, and it is a como estás. We are a very diverse spiritual community. I want to uplift the fact that the Fall Spirit Groups program that Shantae was sharing about earlier in the announcements, this is the first time that we are having small group program with Oneness in All Life in English. There are a couple of books that you can choose, groups that you can choose from in Spanish. And this is the first time we have a group in Creole. And the first time that we have a group in Portuguese. So, continuing to expand the way that people can be connected to these principles and this truth that for so many of us have been life-affirming and life-saving, yes? And it is definitely us living into our core value of diversity. And speaking of diversity, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. I hope you are, I hope you're ready for some Spanish. If you're not, it's coming. I hope you're ready for some salsa. If you're not, it's coming. I hope you're ready for some flavor. I know you're all ready for some flavor. So anyways, with that, I'm going to invite us to take a moment to just breathe into this space. You know, there are many languages around the world, and yet we all speak the language of love, the language of God. We understand it within ourselves. We understand it within this community, for we speak love. We hear words of love. We are expressions of love. And so we take this time to center ourselves in that awareness, recognizing the very Spirit of God that has led us to be here together, sharing all of who we are. living into all that life is. In truth, here and now, we claim the truth of our lives, which are lives of abundance and wholeness, of love and peace and joy. And we fully acknowledge this truth, and we fully allow ourselves to live into it, to express it, to live and to feel into its own presence. For together, one heart, one mind, one voice, one expression of the divine, we are. Thank you, God, for this moment. Thank you, God, for this understanding. Thank you, God, for the blessing that is our lives and the blessing that we get to be in the lives of others. We're so, so blessed. Here we are in unity, in love, in joy, in God. And so together we say, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchas gracias, Dios. And so it is, as we let it be. Amen. Let's have a wonderful Sunday experience.
Thank you, Reverend Juan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Morning. Yes, morning. It gives me great pleasure at this time to bring to the stage, yes, Melina Almodovar. Give her a big welcome. Bienvenido a Unity on the Day.
Buenos días a todos. Good morning. I'm very grateful to be here today, singing my original music. I'm very blessed to be able to play you a little salsa. Here we go. Bye. Here we go. Lejos estás, sigues viviendo en mi corazón. Te amaré hasta que el sol deje de brillar. Tiempo pasa y por siempre espero por ti. No olvidaré cómo me amaste. Dulce, solo quiero estar contigo. No hay nada más divino que el amor que siempre tiene para mí. Oh, sí, dulce, solo quiero estar contigo. No hay nada más divino que el amor que siempre tiene para mí. Oh, sí, echa. Oh, sí, sí, sí. Come on. Let's go, Unity. Con la mano arriba, vamos. Sí, sí, sí. A gozar. Lejos de mí, celebrando la hispanidad. La, la, la. Y como dice el coro, dame todo tu amor. No me importa cuán lejos esté, tú siempre serás mi dulce. Porque te siento en mi alma conmigo, 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 por siempre en el corazón, el corazón. Oye, a gozar. Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Let's have a great time celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Vaya, a bailar. Let me see you moving, come on. A ver, suavecito. Ana, Ana. All right. La, 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 la. Y dice. Bárbaro. So far away, I can hear you calling my name. I will love you right on to my dying day. Though time may pass, I am always with you, my darling. Never forget the way you love me. Sweetness, I just wanna be where you are. Holding on, I'll try forever. Hoping that you'll never give up on me. Yeah. Dulce, solo quiero estar contigo. No hay nada más divino que contigo, nunca serás un olvido. Mi amor seguirá contigo, por donde quiera que tú estés. Recuerdo que viven en mí, me dan valor para seguir hasta que vuelva mi vida. Okay, espérame. All right, everybody, put your hands up. Hey, come on. Let me hear it. We're here to celebrate life and God. That's right. Here we go. Vamos con las palmas arriba. ¿Dónde están los latinos? Do we have Latin people here? All right. And I want you to sing this coro with me. And then I'm going to sing over it, okay? So you're going to help me. Listen. Dulce, papito dulce. Let me hear you sing it. Come on. Dulce. Eso mismo, ahora. Dulce, papito dulce. Dulce para mí. Dulce, papito dulce. Celebra la vida aquí. Dulce, papito dulce. Dulce para ti. Dulce, papito dulce. Let me see you shake it, come on. Dulce, papito dulce. Yo quiero que me quieras. Vente, vente, vamos a bailar. Come on. Vamos, vamos. Vamos a bailar, bailar, vamos. Echa ahora. Vestida, vestida. ¿Cómo? Ahora. Thank you, thank you. Vaya. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for having me today. And I wanted to invite you next Saturday. We're going to have the Miami Beach Salsa Fest. So if you guys want to come out, it's going to be the 24th of September. You're going to see an amazing band and all kinds of awesome musicians to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. It's absolutely free at the Miami Beach Band Show. So we invite all of you to come out. I want to thank my friend Nick for inviting me to sing and everybody here. So I'm super excited. Thank you for having me. Y bueno, dice así, para terminar. Dulce, solo quiero estar contigo. No hay nada más divino que el amor que siempre tiene para mí. Oh, sí, sweetness, I just wanna be where you are. Holding on, I'll try forever. Hoping that you'll never give up on our love, yeah.
All right, we're not done yet. Hold on. Is that amazing? I mean, like, the music, the energy, like, the way which we are, the way which we play together, right? And have some fun. So thank you to Melina, her band, the Unity on the Bay by Readiness, which is dancers. And I'm even gonna include Dale in that one. Beautiful. So, you know, we are just having a great time, and we are really getting to experience different aspects of God, right? Because God is in the fun, God is in the love, God is in what we share, and God is also in the beautiful prayer consciousness that is here at Unity on the Bay. And last Sunday, you all got to witness and honor the 28 prayer chaplains that are a part of our class this coming year, and that was just really amazing, and it was really palpable the energy. And I want to share with you that today we want to honor somebody as our Sacred Server of the Month who has created the space for that through her own prayer work, through her own commitment and dedication, through the love that she shares with so many of us, through the thoughtfulness, as the daily word today says, that she has not only lived into, but inspired in others. Please help me welcome and thank our Sacred Server of the Month, Carmen Navedo Cordova, the Prayer Ministry Chair. For Carmen, not only the gratitude that is within all of our hearts for the beautiful ways in which you serve and what you inspire in prayer in so many of us, we also give you a pretty cool certificate that says Sacred Server of the Month for September 2022. This certificate is awarded to Carmen Navedo Cordova for being a supporting and inspiring example of sacred service at Unity on the Bay. And so thank you, Carmen, for all that you are and all that you do here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, and happy Sunday to everybody. Thank you for being here. In this awareness of the oneness that we are, it is a pleasure and an honor to serve, to hold a sacred space with all of you. And definitely it was beautiful to receive your blessing last Sunday. Our daily word for today is thoughtful. My kind thoughts and deeds are a blessing. Your kind thoughts and deeds are a blessing. Today, I bring the love and peace of God to all of my encounters by being thoughtful. More than politeness and deeper than kindness, thoughtfulness means I consider the comfort and happiness of others equal to my own. My intention is to let those in my life know what they mean to me. I may reach out to someone who needs an encouraging word, letting them know they have what it takes to succeed. I may surprise someone with a kind act, anticipating a need and taking care of something for them before they have to ask. Each thoughtful word and act lets those in my life know how important they are to me and how worthy they are of my time and attention. And you are all very important to us. Thank you for being here and online. We feel you. Today's daily word is inspired by Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God.
Our thoughts are prayers.
And so now we've come to the part of our service. We're invited to enter into some time of contemplation and meditation. And to do that, I invite you now to join me in taking a deep and refreshing breath. Gently closing your eyes, honoring this moment, honoring this experience. Allowing yourself this time of rest and respite. Remembering in this moment your truth, that you are sacred and whole, that you are worthy, that who you are matters and is valuable, for you are the expression of the divine. So feel that within yourself right here and right now. You are the expression of good. You and the God of your being are one. And in this oneness, you are one with all life. And it is beautiful, powerful. Who you are is beauty itself. Breathe into this truth. Continue to go within to that sacred space within you that knows this truth. To that sacred space within you that is beyond words, language, doing. That place within you where you simply allow yourself to be. Beyond letting go of that which no longer serves you. Beyond releasing any old judgments or limiting thoughts. Simply be at peace. Simply rest in your own highest self. Wisdom is within you. Joy is your divine nature. Peace is your birthright. Wholeness is your truth. And so rest. 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 How sweet this moment is to rest in the allness that you are, to rest in God, to rest in the awareness that the very experience of God is taking place within you and as you. To rest in the knowing that you are being witnessed for your truth. There is nothing to do. Simply be. And know that that is the greatest gift you give to yourself and those around you, here, now, and always. So it is, as we let it be. Amen.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio dos luceros que cuando los abro perfecto distingo lo negro del blanco. Y en el alto cielo, su fondo estrellado, y en las multitudes, el hombre que amo. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el oído que en todo su ancho graba noche y día, grillos y canarios, martillos, turbinas, ladridos, chubascos y la voz tan tierna de mi bien amado. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el sonido y el abecedario, con él las palabras que pienso y declaro. Madre, amigo, hermano y luz alumbrando, y la ruta del alma de que estoy amando. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, Daniel, me ha dado la marcha de mis pies cansados, con ellos anduve ciudades y charcos, playas y desiertos, montañas y llanos, y la casa tuya, tu calle y tu patio. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio el corazón que agita su marco cuando miro el fruto del cerebro humano, cuando miro el bueno tan lejos del malo, y cuando miro el fondo de tus ojos claros. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la risa y me ha dado el llanto. Así yo distingo la dicha de quebranto, los dos materiales que forman mi canto, y el canto de ustedes que es el mismo canto, y el canto de todos que es mi propio canto. Gracias a la vida.
Thank you very much. Give it up for these wonderful musicians here with me tonight. Thank you. Very blessed to be here with you.
Thank you to life and all that life has given us. Yeah, that's enough to clap for, right? To be in that space of gratitude. To feel that gratitude, right? To know it and to live it, you know? And it's very much, I think, even now more than even before, connected to what I want to share with you about. Because one of the ways in which we can be in gratitude to life is to allow ourselves to fully experience it. And so many times we get so busy with life that we don't give ourselves that gift. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, because first and foremost, I want to just remind you, as we've been doing, you know, there's a lot of changes and shifts and transitions that we are moving through, and I know that there's many different feelings that we have through that. And next Sunday, we really get to honor and celebrate and shower Reverend Chris with all of our love and all of our gratitude as we come together for basically his retirement party, right? And so next Sunday, really want you to be a part of it. So we will have one service only. You're in luck, though, if this is the one that you normally come to, because it's the 11:15. Nothing to remember there, but don't show up to Temple Israel. Where are you guys going to show up? I have a feeling it's right behind me and you all read it. Yes, okay, well, good. It's getting through. And so we're going to have a really wonderful celebration service that many of us are going to be able to be a part of, that you'll be able to be a part of and share your love and gratitude with Reverend Chris. And afterwards, we're going to have a really fun, nice, delicious time of fellowship. So make sure that you are there. You're laughing because you already know my joke? Yeah? Yes, delicious food, yes. All right, so there are these two neighbors that are outside in their yard, and one of them looks over at the other one who is tending to his garden, right? She's like, oh, so what is it that you're doing over there? Because he was tending, but he was a little frantic with it. He says, oh, well, I'm putting all of my plants in alphabetical order. And the neighbor was like puzzled, was like, wow, that's really? How do you find the time? And he says, it's right next to the sage. What that joke represents to me, besides you know, like so many people use gardening as a way of relaxing, right? As a way of being more present and mindful. And yet, sometimes we overcomplicate it, right? Like sometimes we want to be out in nature and we complicate it. How many of you have thought about doing something for yourself that is just like to bring you to reduce your stress, to be in the flow, and you get so involved with it that it becomes stressful? Right? Like, oh, I need to go and meditate so that I can be like at one. And then it's like, oh, but I'm not meditating right. I don't have the right music. I don't have the right candle. And all of a sudden, you're more stressed out than before you decided that you needed to go meditate to reduce the stress, right? It really is so funny. It's almost like part of the human conditioning to not allow ourselves to simply just rest. And we have to add so many bells and whistles to it, right? And so even when we're trying to have fun and relaxing, it becomes a chore, right? Like it becomes something else on the to-do list. And it just becomes one more item to check off rather than something to experience. I think part of it is because we're so fixated on acquiring more. And so we go into some of these experiences like, oh, I want more peace. I want more harmony, more, and we don't know how to acquire more of it. Another part of it, I think, is also just we want to be successful at everything that we do. There's this idea that we have to be successful and what successful means. And so I remember, I think I've mentioned it before, like when I first started meditating, it was like really difficult for me to like just be with it. And I would ask people like, what does it feel like? What am I supposed to experience? What am I supposed to do? And somebody actually said to me, well, you have to see colors. And because I wasn't seeing colors, I was like, oh, well, I'm definitely not doing it right, you know? I'm not successful at simply just being. And so there's all of this stuff that we sometimes have been conditioned through and that we have to work through. Now, it's really interesting that we're talking about this because it is a busy time, especially I feel that it's a busy time for me with some of the changes that are going on and some of the experiences that I have been invited into. And I refound this book that I got a few years ago. It's called Sabbath, Finding Rest, Renewal, and Delight in Our Busy Lives by Wayne Mueller. And he says, in our drive for success, we are seduced by the promises of more money, more recognition, more satisfaction, more love, more information, more influence, more possessions, more security. Even when our intentions are noble and our efforts sincere, even when we dedicate our lives to the service of others, the corrosive pressure of frantic overactivity can nonetheless cause suffering in ourselves and in others. How many of you, if you're like me, have fallen into that overactivity? We have to do it ourselves. There's so much to do, right? We are in the midst of so much. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I got a meme that I've been telling quite a few people about, because it rang so true, but it said, being a minister is saying next week won't be as busy and saying it for the rest of your life. But I imagine that you probably can say it for whatever you do, right? Because we're always thinking about like, well, no, next week it'll be different. Next week we'll have more time. Next week we won't be as busy. And we fall into those traps about next week instead of just recognizing that we can take care of it in this very moment, right here and right now. And so we are in the midst of so much that is taking place at Unity on the Bay, in our individual lives, in the life of the community. I mean, some of us are getting like revved up and ready to go with the elections, and don't get me started with so much that is at stake with the elections, right? And it's a moment to recognize the busyness of it all and how much we can fall into the trap of making busy our God, right? Making busy what is important, feeling like we're being productive in some way, right? And getting into the runaround of all that is supposed to be done by us, instead of recognizing, and by the way, I fall into that. You know, I fall into that. And so it's a moment of stepping back and actually going from the doing to how am I being in this moment? How am I being through these opportunities and expressions and things that are taking place in my own life? How are you being? Do you give yourself the time? Do you give yourself the attention to simply be? Just be. Be with yourself. Be with the God of your being. Be with the experience without trying to usher it away or bring a new one in. Just simply be. Now, in this busyness that we can get stuck in, I found the Chinese symbol for busy is actually the combination of two other words or two other symbols, and it's heart killer. If you had a reaction, ask yourself, do you feel it? Do you feel it? Heart killer. And the reality is that, you know, science tells us, right? If we're in the busyness of it all and we allow the busyness to be what stresses us and what brings us down and our endorphins, right? Like we just all of a sudden, like we start feeling life in a different way. Science tells us, medicine tells us that the more busy and stressful that we are, the greater chance of heart disease, right? Now, metaphysically, spiritually speaking, I also recognize that the busier I get, the less opportunity I give myself to just be in the heart space. And it is in the heart space where I believe we find the power of love, we find the power of harmony, we find peace, and we find healing. You know, so again, so many times in our desire to heal, we do, right? And how can we allow ourselves to simply be in the space of the heart, in the place of peace? And we do have to heal. There are things that we are healing. Sometimes we don't even realize the number or the level of things that we are healing through, right? We don't even know some of the ways in which we have been hurt or have hurt ourselves in this process of attaining, of being successful, of having, of accomplishing. Now, Thomas Merton, and he's quoted in this book, says, there is a pervasive form of contemporary violence. It's a strong word. The rush and the pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by the multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything is to succumb to violence. Take a breath. Strong words. And could you see how they could be true for you? How we are inflicting a certain level of violence and pain and hurt by the fact that we feel like we always have to be doing. And then measuring ourselves, right? Like measuring our worth and our value by the things that we do. Instead of recognizing that we are already valuable, we are already sacred, we are already worthy simply because we are. Like there's no need to question it. You can, and you probably will if you're like me, and it doesn't matter whether we question it or not, it simply is. And so how is it that we can move beyond burning both ends of the stick, right? How can we move beyond the idea of success in that sort of way, acquisition? And how can we move into a space of greater healing? Well, in his book, he talks about the Sabbath. And the Sabbath, many of us know, like biblically, right? The seventh day. And the seventh day, God created the seventh day and rested. But it's not about the day, right? It's about the energy. It's about the intention. It's about really allowing ourselves to step back from the busyness, from the doing, and simply being with ourselves and to give ourselves the space. So many times we're like so wanting to create that perfect life that we don't take a step back to actually enjoy the life that we've been creating for ourselves. And so how can we bring more of that? How can we allow ourselves to expand our time in rest, our time in quiet, our time where we recognize who we are in connection with God, how we can experience a greater sense of the gifts and the blessings that we have already created for ourselves, that we already have within our own experience. Now, have you felt at times that maybe you or the world around you is just so focused on success and productivity? I mean, we look at those numbers, right? Speaking of elections, right? Like that's one of those numbers that everybody keeps looking at, right? And so this idea that we have to be productive members of society rather than we are valuable expressions of the divine. When we're focused so much on doing, who's taking care of self? When we're so focused on accomplishing, and by the way, right, like when we talk about accomplishing something, it's always in the future. So because we're going to accomplish something. So we're already living into the future. Well, who's living in the present moment? Who's being mindful of what is taking place in this very moment, here and now? So much of what we do today is really about the future. And Wayne Mueller, he talks about this theology of progress. I'm all for progress. I talk to you quite a bit about evolution and my own evolution and my continued walk in evolution. One of the things that he says about this theology of progress is this idea that it's in the future, right, that we will have peak efficiency, in the future where we'll have better productivity, in the future where the standard of living will be better. It's in the future that we've mastered climate change and nature and all that comes from it. In the future is when things are going to be well. When there won't be disease, right? When there won't be pain. And it's all about the future. And it's a beautiful thing to walk that path, to move into that and to recognize that we can be working towards a world that works for all. There's nothing wrong with that. It can become unhealthy, though, if we're so fixated on the world that could be that we don't allow ourselves to enjoy the world that is. When we're so fixated on how my life could be, that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to recognize that we are already beautiful and wise and free and able to shift the ways in which we live into our own experience. It's that idea that it's the promised land, right? It's the promised land. And by the way, doesn't the promised land always just keep getting, when you walk a few steps, it all of a sudden gets a few steps further, right? Right? But so Wayne Mueller says this: if the promised land is the good and perfect place, then where we are right now must be the imperfect place, a defective place. That's some of the languaging, some of the words, some of the thoughts that may be going on through us, right? If the future is sacred, then the present is profane. Sabbath challenges the theology of progress by reminding us that we are already and always on sacred ground. See, when it becomes we will be happy then, we lose the opportunity to be happy now. Great where we have been, great where we are, great where we are going. It's all three. Great where we've been, blessed where we've been, blessed where we are, blessed where we are going. But we continue to strive to try to be the best, to make the best, to make it, right? And even in unity, and I've shared this with you, we talk a lot about creating heaven on earth. And I realized while I was getting ready for today, it's like, yeah, we talk about creating heaven on earth. Wait, heaven already is. Heaven already is in this moment. So there's nothing to create. There's something to awaken to. There's something to live into, right? And so how we shift through that is really the opportunity that we have for right now. In ultimate reality, we do not have to create heaven on earth. Heaven is right here and right now. Right here and right now. So how can you take care of yourself? How can you rest? How can you pause? How can you take that respite to be able to live into heaven? It's not when the time is right. Not when we've crossed off, like all the, to-do list. It's not when we cross the self-created finish line. It's now. He says, Sabbath is not dependent on our readiness to stop. We do not stop when we are finished. We do not stop when we complete our phone calls, finish our project, or get out this report that is due tomorrow. We stop because it is time to stop. If you're not thinking about your boundaries right now, let me invite you to consider those. And we're all looking at how to have clearer, maybe they're clear already, so how to live into these boundaries, right? And so stop when it's time to stop. Be when it's time to be. Stop what you're doing. Create healthy boundaries. Make it a practice to take time to rest and play and simply be. Take time to be in communion with God, the Christ within, the beauty that you already possess, so that you don't feel like you have to go out there and find and acquire that beauty. The beauty already is. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 says, "Come to me, all that you are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." It's not a God outside of us. It's within us. When we go within, it gives us rest. Rest in God. Rest from what you have been conditioned to think gives you value. And recognize that the value is already there. It simply is because it simply is because you simply are. I love that. I was thinking about like that tombstone where it says rest in peace. It's like, why wait? Why wait for that to be the tombstone? Why not allow your life to be what expresses resting in God, resting in peace? We are sacred and worthy. And we must get out of our self-inflicted judgments around who we are and what gives us value. And if you don't do it for yourself, do it for others. I was looking at Shantae. She and I have kids. Not together. But we know as parents, and many of you know as parents, that sometimes you need a break. You need to separate yourself so that you can be better parents, right? And so when we get so caught up in the busyness, we don't allow ourselves to fully engage with that which we are equipped with. And so we got to take that moment to find it, to remember it, and then live from it. And so the lack of rest that we may take, the lack of reflection that we may have about what is already within us and a part of our lives, it really shapes the way that we go out into the world, right? Like we talk about like doing for peace, that sometimes we forget to be the peace, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes a tug and war towards peace rather than a flow and a walk with it. It's like the idea, we've all heard it, although we probably don't listen to it as much as we used to 20 years ago, when on the plane they tell us, right, like we all are on our iPhones now, when they give us those announcements, but the announcement of like putting on the mask first before you are able to help somebody else. And so create your own Sabbath. If you get anything from today, is just invite yourself to create that time of rest or that time of play. Many of you, when you walked in, got this little self-care bingo card. Who's ready for some bingo? I mean, if I tell you that there's like a $10 prize, will you be more excited about it? Who's ready for some bingo? Well, there is no prize except for what you feel as a result of it. But for those of you who are watching from home, you can also just email us, and we will make sure that we mail you one of these bingo cards. And it just gives you ideas on what it is that you could do to be able to be present, mindful in the moment. But don't make it the chore list, right? Don't get stressed about doing these, right? Like, find what works for you and just rest. I love that because even just having the service in my mind was the reminder. So last night, you know what I did? I got into a hot bathtub, I read a book, and I was in heaven. I locked the door. And I made it like an hour of being in there. But so whatever it is, use this as a reminder to just take that time for yourself, to really, how I was yesterday. I was just in love with myself and with life. In those moments, I went out of that bathtub, and then my husband and I cooked dinner for our son Lucas, and I was in love with not only life, with my place in it, but I was in love with the people I was sharing it with. And it took a moment of breath to be able to be more mindful of that. So love yourself. Love yourself this week, this day, this month. Give yourself permission to do so, to rest and be in the Sabbath. Again, it's not about a specific activity or time. It's about a sense of consciousness, right? An intention that you're putting out. And it really is, we think of it as just like time in the bath. It's a revolutionary act. In a world that says that you shouldn't be in the bathtub for an hour because there's so many things on your to-do list, the fact that you're able to do that and just simply be, it's a revolutionary act. Taking this time, this breath, this Sabbath is a revolutionary tool to be able to live a life that you have been trying to create for yourself and not having been fully being able to acknowledge that it's already been created. It's already within this moment. And in those moments where you do rest, and you go within, right? That's where the place of creativity, the place of wisdom, the place of all potential, that's the place where we go to be able to be in the activities that are for us to be in. Great where we've been, great where we are, great where we are going. Sabbath challenges the theology of progress, says Mueller, by reminding us that we're already and always on sacred ground. The gifts of grace and delight are present and abundant. The time to live and love and give thanks and the rest and delight is now. This moment, this day. Feel what heaven is like. Feel what heaven is like. Have a taste of eternity. Rest in the arms of the divine. We do not have miles to go before we sleep. The time to sleep, to rest is now. We are already home. Don't just know that you deserve it. Don't just know that you deserve it. Claim it, live it, breathe into it, rest in it, be renewed by it, and experience life, experience the blessing that you are, experience God. Not tomorrow, not when you accomplish anything, but simply here and now, simply because of who and what you are. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful reminder. Who is feeling aligned to that message? Absolutely. So I am as well. I feel like I could have a whole nother talk about what you just shared, but it is just so important that we recognize that resting is part of the process of completing, of doing, of being. Like, rest is important. So I invite all of you all to say with me, or to repeat after me, I deserve to rest. Can we say that again? I deserve to rest. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So remember your self-care bingo this week. I look forward to participating in it myself. And now we get to participate in the spiritual law of giving and receiving. We are so blessed, and we have so much to give, whether it's our time or our talents, and in this case, our treasure. this is the opportunity to bless Unity on the Bay through your giving. And if you'd like to go green and text the word give, G-I-V-E, to the phone number 833-245-5645. And that phone number is also on the screens behind me. You can also visit unityonthebay.org to provide your offering there. And now we are going to rest in a few moments of sacred silence while you prepare your offering gift. We are so grateful for your gifts and for your generosity. And we'll bless these gifts together by saying, divine love that I am blesses all that I give and all that I receive. All right, so now we are going to bless the children of the world, the children of Unity on the Bay, the child that's in your home or someone that you love and care for, and of course, your inner child. So bring your hands together, create some energy, get those blessings ready as you extend them forth as we say our children's blessing. Children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, we behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And with that, I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to come forward. If you would like to receive prayer, have sacred space held for you by one of our prayer chaplains, just connect with them after service, whether it's something to celebrate, something that you feel like you're in need of, or maybe just a prayer for someone else. How about that? Welcome back to the stage, Reverend Juan.
Thank you, Shantae. Yes, and a quick reminder to make sure that you pass by our gala table or go to the website so you can learn more about that really fun, really great fundraising event that we're going to have so much fun to play together on that day, right? So with that, I'm going to invite you to please stand so that we can say our prayer for protection, and we can follow that with our peace song. Together, let us affirm, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is and all is well.